Joining us now is someone who, until a few days ago, was running to be Conservative leader himself, the Brexit Minister, James Cleverly. Thanks for being with us.
Hi, happy to.
Well, you've decided to pull out of the race.
Yep.
Who are you going to back?
Well, I've given it a lot of thought. I've spoken to my association. I've spoken to people in my constituency, and I've decided that I'm going to support Boris Johnson as the leader of the party. I've worked with him in London. I've stood shoulder to shoulder with him on 2 election campaigns, both in 2008 and in 2012. I've seen him reach out to audiences and voters that the Conservative Party would not normally expect to be on side. And I know he can run a successful executive operation because I was part of the team that did that when we were in London for 8 years. So that's why I'm going to be supporting him for leader. When
you were running, you were talking about the importance of a leader who was tested, who was put through the paces. Why is it you sitting here, not him? Do you think he needs to get out and do a bit more media? Well,
the first hurdle you have to get over is getting the support of members of Parliament. And I spent a lot of time in TV studios talking to the wider electorate, and maybe in hindsight I should have spent more of that time talking to other MPs. So you've got to get over the hurdles as they appear, and the first job you've got to do is win over MPs. And I know he's had a whole load of meetings. He's had a number of hustings last week. There are going to be more hustings next week, and he's been having face-to-face meetings. So I'm the one that's pulled out. I'm not sure it's relevant for me to criticise someone else's strategy for winning this competition.
Has he offered you a job?
No. So I've spoken to all the candidates, and in none of those conversations did I ask for or indeed was offered a job. The really important thing is to make sure that we deliver Brexit, the things that I said when I was running, deliver Brexit, and then very quickly set about talking to the country about the issues that really matter, which is about, schools, and it's about how we look after our elderly members of our society as a party, how we reach out not just to our traditional voter base but beyond that as well. And that's the kind of thing that I think is important, and I've spoken with Boris and he's very much, I think, looking at a similar kind of agenda to the one that I was trying to put forward. OK. Now, the
debate about drugs has been dominating the papers over the last few days. I just want to read something that you said in a debate recently. We have to educate the people who think that drug use, that occasional line of coke at some middle-class party, is a victimless crime. It's not. There is an absolute causal relationship between that so-called victimless crime at some party or some club and the kid that lies bleeding out in a stairwell of a block of flats in South London. Is that your view? Someone who...
Yeah, it is my... I mean, I said it on the floor of the House of Commons, and it is my view, and I think that we do have to recognise the implications of our actions, all of us. And yeah, I mean, I stand by what I said.
I mean, you've said that you have done marijuana, though. So.
Oh yeah, and I said.
To you?
No, and I said, and I said at the time when I did that interview, it was a foolish thing, and I regret it, and I certainly don't advise it, or I'm certainly not blasé about it. And I do feel very strongly that when you do foolish things in your youth, as you mature, you need to think about those things, you need to reflect upon those things, and have the courage to be honest about what you've done or what's happened, and also what you intend to do to change that circumstance.
OK. Just finally, we interviewed you on Interviews podcast, Any Other Business, recently, just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I just want to play everyone something that you said in that interview.
Go on.
Quick fire round.
Oh, okay.
Just while we've got you, has to be done.
Right.
Who'd be a better Prime Minister, you or Boris?
Me.
No hesitation at all. Why do you think, or did you think, that you make a better Prime Minister than Boris Johnson?
The problem I had is not so much what I thought, is what other MPs thought, and they didn't agree with me. So
do you still think you'd be a better PM than Boris Johnson?
Well, look, part of the job of being a PM is winning over the support of MPs.
Oh, very smooth. You're definitely hanging for a job.
And whilst I did OK, I didn't do well enough to have a credible chance of winning. And as I said to you in that interview, I think, I was in it to win it. And when it became clear that that wasn't really on the cards, if you can't win, there's no point in running. So that's why I withdrew.
OK. James Cleverly, thank you for being on the programme.